Well, good morning. It's time for another clutch change. Having begun my journey as a complete novice, I rode my motorcycle across North America before hopping over to Europe. From there, I'll make my way across Asia and down to Australia. New Zealand's southernmost drivable point will mark the end of my journey. I'm calling it the Big Spiral, and this is Act 4, a lap of Ireland and the United Kingdom. The clutch is slipping. Alright, so yeah, the thing with the clutch. So I called yesterday. Yeah, so basically on the back of the package the clutch came in. Apparently it said do not use with synthetic oil. Yeah, it's a little frustrating, so it sounds like I'm gonna have to replace the clutch again within a week of putting it in. So well, good morning. The clutch just came in the mail, and I'm so curious to see if it actually says synthetic only on the back of the box. All right, let's have a look. All right. All right, let's read the text. Oh, ABC Brakes does not recommend the use of fully synthetic oil as this can cause the clutch to slip. So the very last line. Right? Yep. It was on the box. Listed nowhere else. Yeah, I didn't read that. I don't know what to say. I've on the website it says it's an OEM replacement, and the OEM clutch works in synthetic. So I don't know what to say. Like, obviously, yeah, I didn't read the box, but also I feel like, well, you know, they should make it a bit more obvious, especially on the website, like before you buy it, because you're also going to buy oil at the same time, you know, like, and you need to know what oil to put in it, but there's nothing. Anyways, so the one thing I want to do is check the width of each plate. The service manual has a minimum and maximum thickness, and if it's not within those specs, then I have bigger problems than just the oil. So yeah, let's just check that quick. All right, so I actually bought, it's a cheap one, but I bought a micrometer because I just want to make sure everything is on the up and up here, because I've had enough of this clutch stuff. So the service manual says the standard thickness of these friction plates is between 2.9 millimeters and 3.08 millimeters. And the service limit is 2.7. All right, let's see. 2.9, so that's right at the bottom end of the standard limit. And then if I go 0.2 millimeters thinner, then I have to replace them already. So that doesn't make me super happy. We'll do the steel plates. So the manual gives 3 different thicknesses here. So this is 1.6. So maybe these are on par. So then I can measure the whole assembly, which is essentially this. And then the whole thickness would be somewhere between 30.3 millimeters and 30.9 millimeters. Okay, yes, 30.7. That's probably the most important thing, is this whole stack is, yes, 30.6, 30.7. So if the whole stack thickness is within spec, then it was likely the synthetic oil, or there could be something wrong with the bike. But I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be the synthetic oil, because I use synthetic oil. So, yeah. So I think today it's a bit windy. So I think either tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to head out and put the new clutch in. And I've also got a new front tire to put on, which is going to be kind of exciting because it's a different model I haven't used before. So yeah, should be good. Well, good morning. It's time for another clutch change, and it's on another farm. And I've got a little friend here having a look. Hello. Anyhow, we'll move through this fairly quickly because we've seen this before. But one thing I will say is that I'm actually soaking the clutch plates this time, in case that may have been a bit of an issue last time. But obviously this oil is not fully synthetic anymore. It's a semi-synthetic oil, so hopefully it all goes a little better this time. I should also maybe say that I called the company twice that sells the clutch, and there's some talk of maybe getting a new one from them for free, but they just never called back, so I end up just buying one myself. So I'm just gonna skip the suffering, and I'm gonna tie up the rear wheel again, and that'll make things a lot easier for breaking off that big nut. All right, rear wheel's tied up. Let's see if we can break it loose. Hopefully it goes a little easier. Broke it free. That is so much easier that way. There's like no suffering at all. So, all right, let's take the old clutch out and put the new one in. Alright, there's one other thing I wanted to do. I got a new front tire, and I just want to show you this. So what I usually do is I write a note saying I'm Canadian, traveling by motorcycle in the UK. Basically I just say that because I don't want them to flag me as a scam or something like that, because it's a little unusual. But this time they wrote a note, "Have a fantastic trip," which I thought was quite kind. So yeah, I always appreciate something like that. But anyhow, this front tire is MT21. It wears really funny. These side knobs, or kind of side knobs, they just go flat, and then these top ones stay kind of high, so it's really odd. I think this happens on braking. That's what I'm thinking, but anyways, I'm gonna try a different tire this time. All right, I got the tire on. It's a little harder when you don't use lube on the bead, but here, I'll show you what tire it is. So it's a Moto's Tractionator Desert. Obviously, I'm not in the desert right now, but I thought I'd give it a try. The last one was wearing so fast and oddly. So yeah, for me, it's just I need to try out different tires and see what they're good at, what they're bad at, and what I actually like. But it's also partially what was available. So yeah, this was one of the ones that was available, so I thought I'd give it a try. But anyhow, let's see how the clutch works. All right, well, so far the clutch is working. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go for a little ride here. I got the tire in the back here, so I'm just gonna head to, they call it the tip here. Back home we'd maybe call it the dump. But yeah, they call it the tip. I can drop off the tire there. And then I gotta get some groceries. Have to find the right bin. Tires, there we go. Bit of a mission to get here. Okay, great success. I guess it's free because nobody asked me for money. Now this thing is weird, but I think I've read something about, I've seen something else somewhere else in the UK. This is like an old like radio antenna or something like that, I think. Alright, got myself some groceries. Time to head back. I think I might try and do a pull just to see if this clutch is kind of fix things. And this oil, maybe that's the more important change. Seems to be holding. Hopefully it stays that way. Let's try again. Seems good. It may start slipping sooner at higher speeds because there's more wind drag. It's a 5th and 6th gear. I'm not really going fast enough. Maybe now I can do it. Seems like it's holding. Definitely seems better. Alright, so I got another little project for this video. You might remember in past videos I lost my license plate 2 times? 3 times? 3 times? 2 times? I lost it a bunch of times. 3 times. And so I've solved that issue, but the plate itself is still not... Like these North American plates, they're really flimsy. And actually, I'll show you. This one is cracking already here. And yeah, it's if it keeps cracking, I'm gonna lose the plate. So what I want to do is I just cut up this piece of aluminum and I'm just gonna like JB weld it to the back, and that should make it bulletproof, I hope. Yeah, I hope it works, I suppose. I have no idea if it will. Alright, so I got my license plate under this basket of wood. So yeah, we'll just clamp it down for a bit and let it cure, and I should have a fairly bulletproof license plate, or number plate as they call it here. Alright, so the epoxy has cured, and I just gotta drill some holes and install the plate. Hello, doggy. Oh. Alright, so I've got the plate installed, and then just one other small thing. I'm going to add a spare clutch cable to the bike. Basically, it'll just run where the existing one is, but it won't be attached. And if the existing one breaks, then I can easily just connect this and I'll be back on the road. Alright, so I got it installed. It's pretty basic. Basically, this is my existing clutch cable, and this is my backup here. And yeah, it just comes down over here. This is the one that's in use, and this is my backup. I saw Robert Baldinger do this, and I thought it was just a great idea. He's got a great YouTube channel where he talks all about motorbikes as well. And so yeah, I'll link it down below. Well, alright. Hopefully that clutch job solved the problem. Part of me still doesn't quite believe that it was a synthetic oil, but It says on the box, so it must be. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on it over the next week or so, a couple weeks, I guess. Or I guess I'll keep an eye on it until it fails again. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it because I just don't quite trust it, and yeah, it's just worry a little bit. Also curious to try that new tire. It's a new tire to me. We'll see how it does. The other thing I want to mention is that the free play in the lever was never a problem. There was always free play. I forget to mention it because it was never a variable. It was always, something that was correct and couldn't have been a problem. But yeah, on the screen right now, there'll be a link to the next video or another video that you might like. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.